Okay, everyone, so I'm going to walk you quickly through your first unit essay assignment. So the very first thing I want you to do, if you haven't done it already, is go and open and save the essay assignment itself, the document that I provided you, so you can refer to it throughout the week. And then I want you to kind of just follow along as I kind of walk you through my expectations and the different ideas that I'm hoping that you'll get at in this essay. So um, you've been exposed to a lot of different accounts of what it is to be a quote-unquote American in this unit. You've looked at female author text, Native American author text, African American author text, white middle-class male author text, and so I want you to kind of keep these different biases or different experiences in mind. And what you're going to do is choose one of the authors that we read in this unit, and I have the whole list of authors right here. Choose one, and then choose one of the works from that author. Now, if I had you read, say, 2 sections from an author or 3 sections, like I did with Zitkala-Sa, where you read parts 1, 2, and 5, you could do all of the sections that I had you read as one work, or you could pick and choose within that if you wanted to. So you could choose just part 1 and 2 from Zitkala-Sa if you wanted to, or however you want to do it. It's up to you. But you're going to choose a particular work from that author, and then you're going to look at contextual elements. So I gave you their biographies, so you're going to look at their life, sort of the cultural history surrounding them. So what was the social, political, whatever issues might be surrounding that author at that time, not just the author, but sort of that personhood. So what was it like to be an African American male post-Civil War? What was it like to be a female before we had basic voting rights, all these different things. And then look at the larger historical impact. So how does that work and the author, how does the text and the author have a historical impact? So somebody like Booker T. Washington had a huge impact on the rights of African Americans. And even W.B. Du Bois was a reaction against Washington. So they all kind of connect and build on each other in many different ways. So what I want you to do is contextualize the author and their work. That's really important. Contextualize the text itself historically in relation to the political, social, economic, and or philosophical changes which were taking place during this time period as far as the quote-unquote American identity was concerned. So, for example, you might choose to look at somebody like Booker T. Washington and how his writing influenced the ideas of equal treatment of African American ex-slaves. You might look at somebody like Kate Chopin and how her ideas influenced issues of mental health or of equality for women or equal rights for women or equal treatment for women, or the ideas of the patriarchy against women in marriage. You could look at somebody like Whitman and look at the ideas of the individual in this new American society and how important the individual was. So hopefully that gives you just a few ideas of the kind of places you could go. So I've left this purposefully very, very open so that you are able to really talk about what you want to talk about, but I've given you some questions you can think about. So think perhaps about how the author and the work, the text, influence or impact social, political, or economic change. So I've kind of addressed that in those examples. How does the author and work, again, the text is very, very important, how do they fit or not fit with the new quote-unquote American identity? So what does it mean to be American? Do they fit with that ideal? If they don't, why not? If they do, how do they show it? How does the author and the work, again the text, help shape these new American ideas? So again, I go back to somebody like Charlotte Perkins Gilman, who wrote about mental health issues for women with postpartum depression, and it was a hugely influential work. Somebody like Zitkala-Sa as well, same thing. How does the author approach the subject matter? So how does the work achieve a particular social or political goal or message? And then how are these socially situated? So again, somebody like Jack London, he approaches the subject matter of these frontiersmen in the Klondike in a very different way than somebody like Theodore Roosevelt does. Far less emotional language, far more focus on survivalism and community and all these different things. So think about why the author and the text matters. That's really, really important. And this is what I'm going to highlight, and make sure you really pay attention to this. Make sure that you keep the focus on the text. Don't let this become a biography of the author. Again, this is not a history course. This is a literature course. We really want to keep the focus on the text. I have a number of students who always end up focusing too much on the author, and it does impact their grades. So I really want to highlight that and make sure that everybody sees that. Keep the focus primarily on the text. Bring in the author here and there, but make sure that the focus is on the literature. You need to include at least 2 research resources in your work. These can be historical credible websites, things like biography.com, PBS, Encyclopedia Britannica. These are credible websites. Make sure that you don't choose something like gradesaver.com or Schmoop or any of these sort of don't do Wikipedia, don't do Cliff Notes. These are not credible websites. They're helpful, but they're not credible. Don't use them as your sources. Make sure you use good, solid, credible research resources in your work. Go back to the week 1 MLA information if you need a reminder of what a credible source is or looks like. So as far as what I'm looking for, make sure you have a clear thesis, so a clear argument, and clear main ideas. So if I was going to do a clear argument for somebody like Zit Khalasa, I would say this writer was a marginalized voice in society. She impacted the idea of an American identity in way number 1, 2, and 3. That would be a nice, clear argument, and then I would use those reasons, those number 1, 2, and 3, as my main ideas in my body of my essay. Expand on these ideas with solid evidence from outside sources and from the text. This is really, really important. Evidence from the text is integral to a solid argument. You have to provide evidence to show me where in the text, Zit Khalasa helps create that American identity or what that means. So give me quotes, give me paraphrases, but more importantly, give me quotes from the text which show me this and prove your point, prove your argument. Again, use specific words, phrases, or passages to support your claims and expand on them with in-depth analysis. So don't just give me the quote. Expand on the quote after you've given it to me with further analysis of how that quote or how that piece of evidence shows what you're arguing. So all of this right here is really how you get the A. Your essay has to be 3 to 4 pages in length, and it's due by Sunday, October 2nd at midnight, no exceptions. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time this week to write. Start writing early in the week. Give yourself lots of time to edit and get it done. Remember that everything's going to be checked for plagiarism through SafeAssign, and make sure that you understand that when I say 3 to 4 pages, it means that it has to be 3 full pages to the bottom of the page, so all the way to the bottom at least. If you give me 2 pages and you only go this much to the top of the second page, I'm going to take off points for that. So again, here's the list of every author that we've had in this unit, so you can choose from any of these authors. Make sure you do stick to these authors. Make sure that it's ones we've done in this unit and the works that we've read in this unit. And you're going to be assessed on these criteria right here. So make sure you have really good close analysis of the work. Again, don't let it become a biography. Make sure you're focusing on the work and its major ideas, concepts, as well as the author's identity and historical contextualization. Give me lots of good concrete evidence to support your argument, both from the primary and your secondary resources, your research sources. Proper number of pages is important, proper page length, proper MLA formatting. Make sure you do this. Make sure you have the correct header, the title, page numbers in the top right corner, and importantly, a bibliography. You must have citations in text and on a bibliography. A bibliography is always, always, always required for MLA, and you just include that as the last page of your essay. Don't give it to me as a separate document. Just give it to me as the very last page of your essay. Make sure you have a fully developed essay structure, so a good intro, clear main ideas, fully developed, and a conclusion, and a careful and clear organization of all your ideas. So just a few ideas to help you when you're writing to really understand how to look at the literature itself. You can think about any of these things. So think about characterization. Think about the archetypes involved. Is the person the protagonist, the antagonist? What type of character are they? Are they round? Are they not round? Are they flat, static, undeveloped? Think about literary devices. So things like metaphors, symbols, foreshadowing, flashbacks. All of these are really important elements which are used by these authors to achieve a particular goal. Look at the structure. So look at the dramatic arc. How does it follow the dramatic arc? Does it reach a climax and then reach a resolution at the end? Look at the conflict. Is it man versus society, man versus man, man versus man versus nature? And then look at the point of view. Again, something like this is going to be really important in some of these works. So, for example, in Jack London, the point of view is very, very important as far as naturalism goes. Look at literary concepts like themes, symbols, motifs, allusions, the style itself, similes, all these different things. And then, as far as historical contextualization is concerned, make sure you look at the author, look at the work, look at the history surrounding that time period and those events. So, for example, somebody like Upton Sinclair, the historical events surrounding what he was writing about are very clear and significant. And then any ethical or moral or social issues that might be relevant to the text at the time period. So hopefully that's a very extensive explanation, but hopefully it makes it very, very clear what I'm looking for. Pretty much the rest of the week is yours to be working. I have one short discussion board for you to do, just to let me kind of know what you're writing about. But otherwise, the week is yours to write. Please, 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 if you have any questions about this, email me. Let me know. I'm here to help. I want to help. All right? Best of luck, and make sure you get all this done by Sunday at midnight.